Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at, I think, a West Point middle from a long time ago that I found on Root Gadget, and we've got about 6 or so GPS tracks here that we're going to be able to analyze. So I'm going to go through my choices, basically, first, and then we'll look at what some of the other people did. Yeah. So to number one, it's I assume the forest is very open, and so we can just probably take a bearing, kind of stay just left of this green, and then look maybe for this rock, and definitely like the whole marsh, and just try and stay on your bearing. Look to your right. This rock should be very big because it uses the big rock symbol, so it should be very obvious. You just keep that to your left, and then you're gonna run into these 4 boulders. So as soon as you hit them, you're gonna know that you're on point, and then you're gonna be able to just keep going right into these rocks here. And then from here, you can just slow down, I guess, and then kind of pick these 2 off. It should be pretty obvious. Check behind all the rocks because that's probably where the control is. Then you take a bearing to number 2, you look up and look for this cliff, and basically just run just to the left of the cliff, look for these 3 rocks on your right, and then just keep a straight compass bearing from there, and you'll come into the little reentrant and see the control. So very, very straight. So for this one, I was thinking, I don't know how much climb this is, but it's only about 15 meters. So one option is to come out here, hit this yellow, maybe this green and a little cliff here, so it might be a little bit slow right there, but then hit this trail and come all the way in. But that's coming really far off the line, so optimally, I don't know how bad this green is, but I would try staying really close to the line, either on the left side, but most likely on the right side. So personally, I'd run on the right side and maybe even try cutting the forest here to stay as close to the line as possible. And then basically, if the green's too bad, I'd come just to the tip, and then contour along here, look for this giant cliff boulder thing. Look for this cliff. That's going to be super obvious. You should be able to see that from here. Come right under it, and then keep a bearing, look for the boulder field, and it should be a null just on the other side. Yep. Then number 4, we run straight, and now it's going to be on top, so we're going to aim just left of these cliffs. They're going to be super obvious. We're going to climb up. We're going to climb up to the right of this second smaller cliff, and then we're going to just keep a compass bearing here, go along the top, maybe read this little hill here, look for that one on the left, and then just kind of run to this part of the map, read this reentrant, this null, and slowly slow down just once you get into the control circle to go find that control. And going to number 5, I take a compass bearing, look for this little hill, keep running, keep this hill on my left, or yeah, honestly, you could run completely straight, keep this hill on your left, and then keep this hill on your right. Yeah, on your right, come around the left side of it, and just completely follow the line right into the control. And here, slow down again. Look for this kind of null if you can see it through the green. Otherwise, look for the rock, and you're going to come up onto the spur, and then it's just going to be basically in this little saddle reentrant there. So honestly, straight is really good. A lot of people take the trail here, and then I think they take a bearing from here, which wouldn't be a bad option, but honestly, straight is also, I think, really good. So, because the trail's not too long here, and it'll add on a significant amount of distance. David, can you turn that off? Don't make any noise. And then from here on out, we're going to just continue here, stay to the left, basically keep a bearing, look for this little hill, stay to the left of it, and then continue past the knoll, past this hill, around the left side, and then look for the little cliffs. Should be pretty easy. Here, we got to slow down and pick everything off. So this is all negative. They should draw ticks on the contours, but they didn't. So it's kind of hard to tell. You need to know where you're coming from to know if you're coming, what's positive and negative. So I'd run on the right side here. There's a lot of rocky ground here, so that makes everything slow. You could also go on the left side and then pop in from here, but it's a little bit more complicated, I'd say. So here you can see this hill very clearly. Then you're going to find this hill, and you're going to stay just to the right of that. Then you're going to pop down between these two cliffs, but you're not going to go all the way down the hill. And there's this little flat area plateau here. So you're going to continue that and count off 3 knolls, and then 1 more, and it's going to be just around here. So you're going to kind of go to the edge of the slope right there, where the 2 contours are pretty close. And then here you are going to go, so what I would do personally is probably stick as close to the line as possible. So find this rock, keep it on my right, find this rock, keep it on my right, then find this boulder patch and keep it on my left, coming just under it. And then from here I'd take a bearing, looking for this rock. It should be very big and obvious, and then from here it's very easy to get into the control. So very straight, trying to save as much time as I can. And then here we're going to go straight again. This re-entrant is going to be super obvious, but I would personally aim off just a bit to the right and try and stay on top of the hill here, and then run down this sort of edge or kind of spur part of the hill, because that's going to kind of point you right into the control, and you just keep running down to the cliff, and it should be under the cliff. Because if you go completely straight, you have to run through all these rocks, and that's going to be a little bit of a pain. And then otherwise, next control, it's going to be very straight again. Look for this little hill. There's going to be some rocky stuff, and then I'd aim off a little bit, trying to find this spur with this rocky ground, and then head back over here, try and find this boulder patch, and then basically just trying to think of a way to simplify it. So there's going to be this green here that's a little bit annoying. So if it's very obvious, you can stay just on this left side of it and come all the way around in and right into the control. That way you can avoid it. Otherwise, you could bash through it if it's not too bad. And also you could aim a little bit to the left here and look for this cliff, and then once you see it, then you can just veer off a little bit to the left here and hit the control. Number 11, super easy. You just continue straight, follow this bare patch, jump to the next bare patch, look for this hill on your left, and take a little bearing to the right, and then hit your rock. And if you're on one of the other rocks, then it's probably one of these two. Unless there's a cliff really close by, then it's that one, and you should be able to see the rock with your control. From here, I'd probably veer off left and then just take a bearing to the cliff. It's all super open, and this is all negative, so you can probably see the cliff from pretty far off. And then here you just take the trail. I take the trail up to about somewhere here, like count off these 2 rocks, and then cut it off once the ground looks pretty good here. Jump up this earth bank, and then just take a compass bearing over to this little re-entrant here. And then here you just take a bearing, run the trail down to the hut, and then run the finish chute. So yeah, let's see how these guys ran it. Starting the animation, so I don't know. Wow. Oh, it's hard to tell who's who. I'm just gonna, here. We're just gonna look at the roots, honestly, if I can. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna just look at the roots because that's gonna make the analysis a little bit simpler. So these people honestly are spreading a lot, so I definitely wouldn't spread this much optimally. So Peter Hartmann, he has a very good line here. So he keeps a very good compass bearing, hits these 2 rocks, sees where he is. Basically, he could have just kept going straight. He started climbing a little bit and then came back down a little bit right at the end. So that's a pretty good number. So this person, he must have been running, I don't know this. Yeah, he lost about 40 seconds. So that's quite a lot. Very big curve, very bad bearing. Yeah, so some people, they had very initially, so I think Joe Brotig, I can't say his name, Brotigam, he wanted to avoid this marsh, but he didn't need to veer off so much. Like, for example, if you look at Stefan Slutsky, all right, Stefan Slutsky. This is all you had to do to basically avoid this marsh. But I don't think the marsh is too bad, and it's an indistinct marsh, and it's not worth the extra distance, I'd say. And then he veered off. He climbed too much here, and he had to drop back down, so that wasn't optimal either. Yeah, so not a great first control for most of these people. Number two is a lot better, like Krum Sergeyev. That is a great line bearing. Sergey Logvin, pretty good. Little bit of bad direction right at the end. Who else have we got? Oh, Stefan Slutsky, very nice. That is very good bearing. So basically here, you just want to go as straight as possible. So the more interesting route choice to number 3. So here we can see, I don't know why those are, yeah, okay. So there's a good split between the trail and going over the hill and then going to the right. So going to the right, oh boy. See, these people aren't all, I'd say, equivalent runners, so it's quite hard to tell, in my opinion, like comparing the route choices. So basically here we've got 2 people, so someone only lost 26 seconds to the winner who took the trail, I think. Someone, yeah, here, Joe Brottingham. And so maybe the trail really was faster, but honestly, I think the distance is about the same. So the trail is a very good option. I'd say going right is the second best option. It's a little bit trickier here, so you'd lose a little bit of time coming in underneath through the technical section. But yeah, like on the trail, you can really go 4 flat. So trails are good options usually. So here we got Petter Hartmann. It's a very good line, I'd say. And then everybody else is coming from I don't know why this is so zigzaggy. All right. And then everybody else is going more from the left side. What am I saying? So yeah. So I think, yeah, pretty straight for that one. Nothing too much. Everybody took the trail here. So honestly, I don't know how fast the woods are. So for example, if these were Czech Republic woods, I'd just go straight because the woods are basically the same speed as a trail. But here it really does look like going to the trail is definitely a faster option. There's nobody who went straight, so I can kind of assume that the woods aren't that great and the floor of the forest is not the best. Going here, most people managed to go straight, basically, as I said. Anyone who didn't had mistakes. And then, yeah, this is a big mistake. But otherwise, fairly straight. A lot of people came under, so I'm a little bit surprised about that. But I guess it almost makes it, as you come under, you can see the cliffs from the left, from on your right. So it's quite easy to pinpoint exactly where your control is. Here, everybody came from the top except Petter Hartmann. So Petter Hartmann, this is probably the line I would have taken. Yeah, and I don't think it makes a big difference. Honestly, give or take. They're both about the same. This is just a mess. I can't really read that. Here, everybody's basically straight, so makes sense. It's a little bit of, some people went a little bit too far left, but it's pretty straight here. Everybody came from the left side of this cliff. I think I would have gone from the right. Oh, I suppose maybe the left side would have been better because you can hit this trail and that'll really speed you up. So yeah, maybe the left side would have been faster. I feel like I'd still go from the right. Well, it depends, again, how bad these rocks are, because if they're really bad, then it's probably not worth it going through it. And I know that decision, so I'd just instinctively go for the trail. I guess that'll be one thing to watch out for during the time trials. If there's a trail, then take it. That's a very nice line from, who is it? Stefan Slutsky. Very nice line. So pretty straight. He didn't take the trail. So some people here took the trail, like Andres Vitolas, and he's about 5 seconds off the fast time. And Stefan Slitsky is about 1 minute off. So I think, yeah, definitely running the trail down here for a portion and then coming up was definitely the better option. Yep, that's about it for that. So I'll see you guys in the other one, in the long distance video.